Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're wondering how to master a job interview, you're in the right place. Today we're diving into the essential pre-interview homework you need to ace that meeting. Before starting, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, it just takes you one click. Stick around till the end for some extra tips on making this interview a less stressful and more enjoyable experience. To be great in an interview, you need to do some homework before actually having that interview. Make that company feel special. Google information about that company. Go through their website, read recent news, and go through the relevant projects that they have. There's a lot of information out there. Some companies publish about their culture, their vision, the mission, their goals. Make sure you Google at least a little bit. When we are interviewing candidates, we want to feel that they feel this company is special. It's not the same for you to work here than working somewhere else. We want to feel that. You need to know about the company. Just avoid showing up in the interview expecting them to tell you everything about the company. It doesn't really work that way. You need to prepare questions, and those questions need to make sense. You are in control of the situation. You are interviewing your next workplace. You need to ask the questions that are good for you, that you want to know what values that company have, what are they going for, how they treat their people, how they work. That's what you want to know. Do not expect them to ask all the questions. Interviews are those moments where two parts are trying to see if they like each other. It's not just one-way thing. So make sure you prepare a list of questions to ask. Yes, you can have them written in a paper. That's totally fine. You can have them in your phone if that's needed, but make sure you mention that you wrote the questions there. Otherwise, it looks like you are using your phone well in an interview, not really good. Interviews are not just about the role. You have to ask questions about the culture, team dynamics, growth opportunities. Be aware that you are looking for a company that is a fit for you. You're not just there to fill up their position. My pro tip about questions is going through Glassdoor. I have done this strategy many times and it actually works, and it really puts the other person in perspective of how much I care and how much I did my research about the company. Filter the comments per date and stars. Take the ones that are related to the area that you are being interviewed for. Check what people are describing. What are the cons that they are mentioning there? Do those cons repeat in between different comments from different users? If there are different users saying similar things, then we have a great candidate for a question. Try to find these patterns and create comfortable questions. For example, you can say, I've been reading Glassdoor and I read this kind of comments. How have you guys been working on this challenge? How did you move forward from there? Is this still happening? If the comments are not super discouraging for you, then write those down. Then write the questions for that interview. We spend a lot of hours at work. It needs to be a good place. If something there is noisy or ugly, it doesn't really worth trying. Let's move to the next topic. Money. You need to do your research. You need to know what's the salary benchmark for this position that you're applying, and that's on you. There's no right websites, there's no right places where you can get the right answers for this question. So you need to move around. Once again, you can use Glassdoor, but you can also talk to acquaintances, friends, and people that are in your area of influence to understand how much they are getting paid. Some companies will give you the salary ranges up front when they contact you to have the first interview. Some others will wait until the last moment of the process. It's on you to actually investigate how much you're gonna answer when they ask you what are your salary expectations. Once again, this is on you and you are responsible for this. You cannot go to an interview waiting for see how much they want to pay you. I'm going to upload another video about this topic because there are many things that you need to consider. But for now, are you familiar with the concept of BATNA? BATNA is, in short, your second best option. It's deciding beforehand what's the minimum offer that you are open to accept and having a set of alternatives to consider. Having a set of alternatives to consider during the negotiation is actually the best exercise you can do, because deciding face to face in front of a stranger might show more your weakness than your wishes for salary expectations. Remember, you don't have to answer right away. You can also say, let me think about that. But if you're already in a meeting that is supposed to talk about compensation, you just have to know your answer, baby. Next tip, practice makes better. There's not such a thing as perfection. Besides practicing your speech, your introduction, and your career expectations, you have to practice how to do interviews. And this is just like riding a bike. You can read the theory as much as you want, you can be told how other people do it, but until you are not riding that bike, you just don't learn to ride it. Same with interviews. You just have to go and do interviews until you understand that you don't need to get nervous about it, that is good for your career, that you're actually meeting new people, that you're understanding what are the questions, what are the market interests in that moment. Making interviews is healthy. Do not wait until really needing a job to start applying and getting into interviews. The quicker you can practice, the better you're gonna become on it. You need to have your sales pitch about yourself already thought before, way before you go to that interview. Make notes if you need to. Nowadays, most of the interviews happen online, so it's totally fine to have your notes, and it's totally fine to tell the interviewers that you are taking notes if you are delaying in giving some answers. It's always better to communicate more than to communicate poorly. Practice with friends, with other people around you. Interviews can be rehearsed, and it's on you to make that part. That's your homework. If you freak out and stress a lot, you have a really bad time, get nervous before an interview, then you have to practice that by doing more interviews. Even if it's in shitty places that you don't care about, you have to practice being face to face with somebody that will give you a job. Try breathing, try meditation, get a good night's sleep. And what works for me is actually focusing on enjoying the moment. Because if I'm having a bad time, why will I attend? Why will I put myself in that horrible situation? The more I practice, the more comfortable I feel, the more I open up to the idea that this is something that I will enjoy, will make me enjoy it more. More interviews mean more experience. Each one is an opportunity to refine your approach. Remember, preparation is the key for success. Don't forget to subscribe my channel to get more advice on career growth and personal development. I wish you success with those interviews. You're gonna do great. See you in the next video.